first, we're monitoring the caravan or caravans that may be headed toward the United States. And second, we are adding thousands upon thousands of National Guard as well as the Texas Department of Public Safety to secure the border. And as we speak right now, they are barricading the border using different strategies. They're laying miles of razor wire upon razor wire. This afternoon, they will be dropping down some of these large containers that you see on 18-wheelers, the same type of containers that you see on these ships. We will be using them to blockade the border. We are identifying the most likely locations where people may be coming across the border and doing everything possible to secure those areas. In addition to that, Eric, what Texas is also doing, Texas is building its own border wall, and we expect to have some of that wall up as early as within the next 2 months. On top of that, we have a new program in place where people who come into the state of Texas and are trespassing in our state, we are arresting them and putting them in jail as opposed to Biden's catch and release program.
You know, sir, I think the people of Texas thank you. The people of America who ultimately will get a lot of these illegals in their cities, thank you. But there no thanks to you from the feds. Tell us the pushback between you and the federal government, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and their Homeland Security.
It's been unbelievable. First, they've abandoned the border. They've abandoned the border counties and the people in those regions, as well as their fellow Americans. Two, they're not enforcing the law. They're not doing their job. But they're even making it worse because I used an executive order to prohibit the movement of migrants across the state of Texas. They filed a lawsuit against me in federal court to stop what I was trying to do to just better contain the health and safety of our own state. So the American government is working against the state of Texas's efforts to secure our border and to keep our own state safe. You
know, it must aggravate you as a governor, the chief executive of the state of Texas, to have to spend upwards of $3 billion of Texas taxpayer money to secure a border that the feds should be doing themselves. Quick thought, final thought on this.
Well, so we, as you point out, we just appropriated more than $3 billion to secure our own border, and those are Texas taxpayer dollars doing the federal government's job. But listen, we have to do it. We have to step up. We have to secure our border while the federal government twiddles its thumbs. The elections have consequences. We see the consequence of Biden being the president of the United States. We need a change in the administration because this is devastating to the United States.
White House of Horrors. Governor, before we let you go, another governor, Governor Andrew Cuomo, has just been, I guess, charged with the misdemeanor sexual assault. Could we get a quick comment to you from one governor to another former governor? What do you think about that?
Listen, governors need to uphold the highest standards, including any types of allegations like what were brought against Governor Cuomo. We need to live by the highest standards and demonstrate those standards for the people of our states.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV because we're real news for real people.